Hello, everyone. We are live here with Kathy and our special guest, Carter. Hi, Carter.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're good.
We're
We're
good.
excited that you're here with us. Thank you.
Yeah, me too.
Yes. So, before we get started and talking about your life as Cody, tell us what's been going on since your life as Cody.
I mean, we actually 2 years ago now, we actually moved into a new house, which has
Nice.
actually been, yeah, it's really nice. I have the whole basement to myself, which
Oh,
I'm really liking. Yeah, we have like a games room with a pool table and stuff, so it's been nice. And I've still been auditioning and doing stuff. It's been kind of slow, but what can you do about that? So that's been pretty fun. And then yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've just kind of living a normal life since then, just having fun.
you're being humble here because
Yeah.
didn't you just get your license to drive?
Oh yeah, I actually forgot
Yes.
about that. Yeah, I got that like last week. I went driving right after, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it
Do
was
you have
fun.
your own car yet?
No, not yet.
No.
I'm thinking of getting it around when I get my like my N for my car. So
Okay.
like a yearish. Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of my friends are driving like automatic. I was thinking of driving manual just because it seems kind of fun, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, actually, that's a really good skill to have. You never know when you would like need it. And those of us like myself that doesn't know how to, we would be stuck, but you wouldn't. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, and I at least have like a basic idea if I didn't stick with it. So
Right, right.
yeah.
Cool. Now you know what? You never had a chance to drive any of the picture cars on the show, did you?
Oh no, no. Yeah, that would have been fun. I mean, I drove golf carts around sometimes, which was
Right.
weird, but
That's how the kiddos in my family, we have a lot of property like between all of our houses, and they learn when they're 3. We get them on the golf cart. There's one that's like trashed and we let them drive around, and then that's how they learn to drive. Uh,
yeah.
I know.
So good.
What about your lacrosse? You play lacrosse, right?
Yeah. I started field lacrosse. This is like my first year back for like 4 or 5 years, I think. It's actually been pretty fun. I'm getting back into it, but I've been playing box lacrosse for I think it's like 8 years or something. Been enjoying that for a while, and
I
yeah.
saw some of your things in action, and then I saw you won an award, a bronze. What was the
Oh
award?
yeah, that was for just a tournament, just coming third.
Right.
Yeah, and then
What's
we got a silver in another tournament as well.
So you act like, "Oh, yeah, just living a normal life." You're too modest. We
Yeah,
got some major things going on here.
So,
yeah.
So
do
I
you,
was excited. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Kathy. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, do you keep in touch with any of your former castmates or any of the kids who you were all kids together during the
Yeah,
time you were on?
I hang out with Javen sometimes actually. He's he's been a friend that I've hung out with actually, and I me and Christian are still friends. We haven't talked for a little bit, but we're still friends. And I talk with some of the adult cast sometimes. I mean Lori as well.
Right.
Yeah, some of the other ones as well. Like what are their names? I know their show names. Elizabeth. I'm forgetting her actual name now.
Aaron.
Aaron. Yeah. And then Daniel as well. Jack Wagner. I don't know, just some of them too.
You just were, I was just going to ask you this. You did When Hope Calls with Lori and Jack. That was nice.
Yeah,
A little mini reunion. Now, I have a question. Where was that filmed? Where did they film When Hope Calls?
it was filmed in North Bay, like Toronto area.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
it was right by like a big body of water. I don't think it was an ocean, but like a lake.
did they set it up, or was there an act? Was that an actual little town that you filmed in? It's so
They built it.
beautiful.
They built it.
Oh, they built it,
Yeah,
really?
yeah. I mean, they didn't. Some of the buildings aren't like full buildings. It's just kind of a
Yes.
front. But I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, they built the whole thing like ground up, really.
Wow. That
Yeah,
was nice. It was nice to see the 3 of you together, like a
yeah,
little mini reunion. How
yeah.
did
It was actually like seeing Jack again. It was really nice. It was actually lucky we met because I was just about to leave and he just arrived. But yeah, we talked for like 20 minutes. It was
that was
nice.
nice. I saw like a behind the scenes photo or something. How long did that take to film? Because it was a
Um,
two-part series.
it took about 3 weeks.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was good. Like I stayed in a hotel, along with like some of the other cast, and we went out sometimes, had food. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, that was nice. I loved watching it. It was like a little mini reunion, like I said, but I liked the whole storyline. And I always liked the idea of the orphanage and then seeing all of those characters back. That was nice.
Yeah.
It was cute. It was, and I really enjoyed the setting. That's why I was curious to know if it was an actual little town or if I can't believe they built it though. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I
That's
know. Like it's really impressive. Like it looks like a whole real town. It's actually
yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
It was,
very talented.
it was very nice that they brought Jack back to
Yeah.
close that loop. And I
Mhm.
was watching, some parts of season 5 earlier, and they actually, I saw some scenes where Jack and Lori, or Jack and Abigail, really were close. And he entrusted her with that
Oh,
letter
sure.
to give
Yeah.
to Elizabeth, and they hugged, and it made perfect sense. And it was like putting the little bow on the end of that final end of that storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like there's some really talented writers on like both shows, so they found a way to bring them back in and end it off. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. Um, I said that 14 times because I really liked it. So, Carter, I was curious, how old were you when you got the part of Cody?
I um I was turning 8. I was like right at the end of 7.
I can't like all the lines that you had and all the scenes. I was just looking at screen time, right? And I didn't sit there and count all the minutes, but I thought at first maybe you had the most screen time with Abigail, with Lori. But then I was like, I don't know. What about Elizabeth? You had quite a bit of screen time with Elizabeth being a student in her class and you had a good relationship. But when you think about all of the relationships you had, I was like, even with Rip the dog and with Dasher,
Yeah.
or how are you with animals? Were you okay acting
Oh
with
yeah.
them?
Oh yeah. No, it was a lot of fun. I love dogs. I mean, I have a dog, like a little
Yeah.
tiny Morkie. She's great.
Oh,
But yeah, no, like the dogs were great. Rip. I knew his real name. His real name was Oscar, actually.
yes.
He was a great dog to film with. He was pretty chill. Walked around. His paws kind of, what's it called? Like they kind of went out a little bit. If that makes
Yeah,
any
they were
sense.
like webbed,
Yeah. Well, like they kind of
bowed. Oh,
moved out
okay.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of cute. But yeah, and both the dogs are great. Like when you have to film a scene with a dog and they have to lick you, they put baby food all over you, and they just let the dog go and they just lick you.
Oh, that's a cute tidbit to learn.
Yeah.
Now, how did you even get the part? Did you
Um.
audition or?
I mean, well, yeah. First I auditioned. I felt pretty good with it, and then I got a call back. Felt pretty good with that as well. And then a little while later, I think maybe like a week or two, I found out that I booked it. I was really excited because like I liked the character. I'd worked on him as well. And then I mean, from there we just went through wardrobe, got some clothes that fit me, and yeah, a little while later I just started filming. It was great.
Do you
Did
remember
you?
who you did your audition scenes with?
Like reader or
Did you do just someone reading the lines, or did you do them with
A
the
chemistry test?
actors? Or
oh no, it was just somebody reading the lines.
okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know that you would be on? Like, did you think it was just like for that season, or did you realize that your part was going to be on as long as, they wanted?
Originally, it was I was gonna be there for a couple episodes,
Hmm.
and then they liked my character, so they had Abigail adopt me and keep me in
Yeah.
the show.
I know. I always, as soon as we got to meet you and your sister, I was like, oh, wouldn't it be great if, you got to stay and then they wrote it in. So
Yeah.
they're smart. I love when they take little storylines like that and then build upon them. And then all of a sudden you steal the show.
Yeah.
You were like I'm serious. You had so many relationships. You had a relationship with Lee, with Jack, like I said, the dogs, Aaron, of course, Abigail. I felt like you had a relationship with everyone except for your sister.
Yeah, no, she left so soon. It was
Yeah.
actually sad, but
Yeah, I know. And I like the Christmas episode. Actually, I think that's from season 5 where she comes back, doesn't she?
She did.
And
Henry, the hero, went and rescued her and brought
yes,
her.
Oh yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And Ned was out there with his gadgets and he was taking photographs. And remember, you have a photo taken and you add it. That's what happens in the Christmas episode. You and Becky have a photo taken. You add it with Abigail's son,
Peter.
and
Oh
then that's the present that you give her, which is
yeah, I
really
remember
cute.
that.
Yeah, that was cute. I like
Yeah,
it.
those Christmas episodes were fun.
I know, and we're dying because we haven't had one in a while. I'm going to make up my own, I think.
Yeah,
Fan,
write your own.
fan fiction. You want to star in it? Tell us about what you learned, because you worked with like great actors, even directors. I mean, all of them. What was something that you may have learned along the way?
Probably something that I learned would be like, it's a pretty simple one, but like
That's okay.
it, you kind of don't fully realize it until it's kind of said to you in like the environment in a way.
Hmm.
There's a time for work and a time for play. Cause like, I don't know, like there's a certain point where maybe something's rushing or something and you're just playing around and then everybody just gets mad and it just like screws everything up, sort of. Well, not everything, but like
I know
it,
what you
it
mean.
can
Yeah,
sometimes, yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, so then like there's just a time for like where you actually have to be serious, and
Mhm.
then when you have like breaks or lunch or something, you just play around, just have fun. Like I don't know.
That's actually a lesson everyone needs to learn, because I could see sometimes, like maybe last year when people were sharing, like the actors were sharing so much of behind the scenes, it looked like sometimes they were having a little bit too much fun and they should have been more on task. I'm a teacher, so I'll be always looking at
Oh
that stuff. You got to
yeah.
be on task, right? Right. But actually, it's a very good lesson. Did you learn it early, or did it take you a while?
Um, I mean, I kind of learned it from Paul Green in a way, which was maybe
Cool.
like season 4 or 5. I'm not actually too sure. It was somewhere around there, but I don't. Yeah, he just kind of taught me that and just kind of learned it. I don't know.
He's very zen, isn't he? He's very
Yeah.
like gives out
Totally opposite
advice.
of his character.
What happened?
I think it's totally opposite his character, the grounded, science-driven doctor. I
Yeah,
get the
yeah.
impression he's much more creative and, like you said, Zen-like.
Zen, like artsy. He has a whole other way of thinking. That's true. He kind of is opposite of his character. I was just thinking that. Wow. That makes him an exceptional actor when you are something
Yeah.
completely different.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gonna be a completely different person.
Yeah,
Carter, over
sure.
the years, you had a chance to really stretch your wings in terms of acting. And so you had drama, you had comedy, you even had, close to death scene, when you
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
in the whole town spraying for you. Is there a particular style that you are drawn to, or do you like it?
When I was younger, I really liked like drama, like emotional scenes.
Hmm.
Like when I was younger, I was really good at like crying scenes, for example. There was definitely a couple of those that really got people like emotional. But I mean, it's kind of changed now. Like I'm not as good at it anymore, like crying, because I'm not a young guy that you can like really feel
Manipulate.
for. Yeah. I don't really know what my favorite is anymore. I really like comedy. I'm not that good at it, but like I really like that.
You'll enjoy it.
I don't know. I think I actually might still say drama, but like not too emotional, actually.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, it's fun to kind of get into like a certain emotion and just really feel that. But I don't know, just crying scenes aren't really me anymore.
Who helped you with all your lines?
My
Yourself?
mom,
Your
actually.
mom.
Yeah, we went over them like we went over lines a lot for I think like all the seasons that I was there, and it really helped.
And she was on set with you?
Yeah, she wasn't like working with me, working on my lines with me on set, but
Mhm.
like before we got there, we did them a lot. Yeah.
And I've met Christian and Ava, and we've talked a few times. And I remember saying to them, because they have full lives right now, I remember saying to them, "When do you have time to do all this?" And I guess their schedule is lighter now, especially with the COVID. But you had a heavy schedule. Did you go to school like in person, or did you have a tutor? How did that work out?
Well, I went to school in person for all the years. Um, I can't remember. Was I filming during COVID? Actually,
No.
okay, no.
Were you?
I don't think many of the kids were filming at all.
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't think so.
Oh yeah. I was thinking of When Hope Calls actually.
That's okay. You
But,
were then, yes. That's
yeah.
different. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was going to school. I was still playing sports as well. Like I did have a busy schedule, but some days I had to not go to school, like study lines and stuff, or even go to set really. But
Right.
on set, there's a tutor that like works
Oh.
with us for stuff.
Oh, okay. So there's an on-set tutor, and what is it for all of the children? All the children actor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's a separate one for like actors and background,
Yeah.
but I mean, there's still a lot of kids for you to like tutor and help. Like there
Sure.
was some days there was like all the kids on set, and the tutor had to try and like
Be Elizabeth.
all of us sort of. Yeah, yeah. Except just we're all doing different subjects and different levels of everything as well.
That
So
sounds like the actual schoolhouse in
yeah.
Who Calls the Heart. No,
Oh, actually, yeah. There's multiple grades in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So Carter, I don't know. I think that set is so unique. What is like, do you have a favorite? Like, is there a favorite building that you liked? The schoolhouse, the cafe. I know you had your own little bedroom. I mean,
Hmm. I really like the saloon because I mean there's the bottom floor, but then there's like an upstairs that goes to like some separate rooms and a balcony as well, which is like really nice. But I mean, I do really like the cafe. The cafe is just kind of a comfortable place to go in a way.
it's like it's home away from home for you.
Yeah.
You spent quite a bit of time in it. I like the part where you open up that little side door and there was that back area. Now, I don't know if it really was there or they opened the door and then they shot it somewhere else, but you would have like a snowball fight and I remember you turned it into like the North Pole or something another time.
Yeah, I mean, there's a back part there. Like there's a backyard. There's like a chicken coop there and a clothesline for like drying clothes. But I'm not sure if we filmed those scenes there because like there's not too much space back there.
Yeah,
There's like I mean you could have filmed it there, but yeah.
Now, there's a lot of eating going on in the cafe. Now, is any of that food real?
Yeah, it's all real. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. You kind of fake it. So like I don't know, you put the food in your mouth, and if they can like cut it to the other person speaking, so then you can
Yeah.
just not eat it. Because I
You
mean,
like a spit
sometimes
bucket?
yeah, yeah. Because like sometimes you do so many takes that you don't
Mm.
want to. You're just gonna get full and disgusted after eating all the food. So
Right, right. And I heard the chef is pretty good. Like a
mhm.
pretty good chef on there. What when how I there was an episode, I think it was in season 5, where you and Cody and Robert bake a cake,
Oh yeah,
a chocolate cake. So that was like real flour, real ingredients, all
oh,
of that.
yeah.
Oh, that
It was a real cake as well.
yeah. I think
You ate
all
all
of
the
that
food.
makes it easier to feel authentic. I mean, I think they're pretty cool with that. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. That scene was a lot of fun actually, because like
So
it was actually like nighttime, and we had to like push the cake off the edge, and it got everywhere, and all that was a lot of fun.
there was a good time.
Yeah.
There's a really do you still watch When Calls the Heart by any chance? Do you ever catch it?
Um, I watch episodes here and there, and like I look at Twitter sometimes to people live tweeting, but I don't watch like every episode. No, but
This past year, there was a really cool food fight in the ice cream shop. They have an ice cream shop there. And yes, it's brand new. You know what they
Yeah,
did? They
you wouldn't recognize the town if you haven't seen it for a while. They
yeah, it
this
sounds like it.
they got a
Jeez.
drugstore now, which is the ice
Oh,
cream shop.
okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
and Ned has invented the Band-Aid. I don't know if you were around when he invented the Band-Aid.
No,
He invented what was the pop-up thing?
toaster.
The toaster. He invented
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah, he's become the
He's
jack of
become
all trades.
yes.
Yeah.
So they have a pharmacy ice cream shop and a food fight happens. And Robert has a big part. And it's funny because they asked him recently about that scene. He said he loved it because he has like the soda machine and he squirts it, and it's like it's Elizabeth and Rosemary and a couple other people, and he really had to squirt them, and he said he loved it. But the stuff they put on them, I remember asking Ava, and Christian was like smelly. They said it was what did they say it was when we interviewed them? I'm trying to remember.
Substance that simulated the ice cream and the
Right.
toppings.
Right. But it was some yogurt. It was yogurt. They used yogurt, not for the drippy part. And they said it was so gross after a while. But I was thinking all the things that you got into, like the baking or when you went fishing or just snowball fights or whatever. Is there anything that stands out that was fun or gross or whatever you'll never forget? Or there's just
Honestly, some of the snowball fights were actually a lot of fun because, like, I mean, when they make snow, it's either like shredded paper, like if they're just blowing it around, it's just like some really finely
Mhm.
shredded paper. But like because usually you film Christmas scenes in like the summer or
Yeah.
something because
Yeah.
I mean they got to edit it and everything. And
Yeah.
it's just like it's fish ice, like the ice that they used to like freeze
Oh.
fish, I guess, or something like that. So
Yeah,
like if
yeah.
we were to throw a snowball, it'd be like I'm not 100% sure if it'd be that, but I don't know. The snowball scenes were a lot of fun, anyways. Like just pelting snowballs at each other.
Oh my gosh. No injuries, right? No
No, no,
injuries.
no, no, no.
No.
Oh yeah, we were
Did you
fine.
did you ever do anything where you needed a stunt double?
Um, I never needed a stunt double, but for oh, what scene is it? Like when my appendix happened and I was in
Yes.
the nursery or
Or
nursery
infirmary, yes.
infirmary. Yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. I needed like a stand-in because I had been there for like over the amount of hours I was supposed to be. So I needed a stand-in to just lie there for me. But that's the closest I've got to a stunt double, really. I've like the scene where I had to fight Robert like way back, I think it was
Yes.
season 3.
Yeah.
That was the two of us just rolling around in the mud with like some pads on. And then when I
That must have been fun.
yeah, it was a lot of fun because we were just rolling around with each other in the mud,
Oh my
and
god.
everybody was just cheering on, just really fight.
I love
Yeah,
it. Yeah, pretty cool. Oh, you
yeah.
had such good memories. Did you think when you were on there that it would go for, I mean, 10 seasons, 100th episode?
I mean, I got there in season 3, so like we were just excited to be there and all that. Like
Mhm.
we didn't really think like how long the show was going to go on for. We just having fun being there with each other. But I mean, honestly, I'm not surprised it's gone to 10 seasons because there is some like really talented writers and people in the show that can
Mhm.
carry the show on. And like it's kind of tough to make like a show interesting after so long, and they've done a great job of that. So I'm
It's
not
got
surprised.
its
Yeah.
own little life. So
Yeah.
in season 5, we have that wonderful Christmas episode. I liked it with the wishing tree.
Oh yeah.
And they also had some, it was like a little bit all over the place because, Jack was away, his character, then he comes back. And then of course there's that last episode breaks your heart. And I could still see all the kids like in a V and they're at the grave site and you sing Amazing Grace, Rosemary comes and stands by you. Like wasn't that a hard scene?
Yeah, it was hard. It was like it was a gloomy day as well, just like weather wise. Like it was tough. Like it was nobody was bright and bubbly as normal. Like I don't know.
Mhm.
Like it was even though it wasn't like real in a way, it was like we treated it like it was, which was
Well, you were losing a big character, like
yeah,
a cast member, so that probably helped make it, like, emotional as well.
that's true actually. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
we all enjoyed Jack being around. Like he was a great guy. But
yeah, I know, that's hard. So, just for fun, where do you think Cody is right now? Where's Cody right now?
um, I don't know if they ever said where he went, like to what city or town, but
Mhm.
I'm assuming he's just living a day to day life, just going to school. He's probably made some new friends. I mean, he's been there for probably like 5 seasons, 4 seasons now, something like that. But I mean, he probably misses his Hope Valley friends still. Like he
Yeah,
must, because they were where he started out, really. So
right.
and
And Robert has graduated, and he has 42 different jobs, and I think
He's
that
going to buy a horse.
Yes, because he wants to be a Mountie, right?
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
he changed his mind on that after he saw what really happens when you have to be a lawman. So I think
Mhm.
he's kind of backed up on that a little bit.
What do you think Cody would aspire to be?
I mean, it definitely used to be a Mountie. I'm pretty sure he wanted to be a Mountie. But he was, what is it, like mentoring Lee at one point.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, probably maybe a businessman, but he never liked the ledgers. I remember that. He didn't
Yeah,
like doing
yeah.
that. So I don't know. I'd probably say Mountie because he really liked Jack and what's it called? Yeah, like
Yeah.
treated him like a father figure in a way.
Yeah.
So
No, he did. He did.
yeah,
You
I
were
could
headed
see.
that way with Pastor Frank. You two were getting very close
yeah.
during that little
I
time.
like Pastor Frank. He was a lot of fun to work with. It was sad that he had to go, but yeah.
That's Kathy's favorite actor. It's her favorite. She's
He's my
obsessed
favorite
by him.
character too.
So she
Yeah.
had to like slip that in, Carter. We all know that Kathy loves Pastor Frank.
Yeah, I mean, he was great. Like, I do kind of miss him when I thought about him kind of before I did this interview, just thinking back, and yeah, like he
Mhm.
was great to work with. We had some great scenes and stuff, and yeah, it was fun.
All right. So I'm looking to see if we have any questions for you, Carter, before we say thank you and good night. We want to keep you
You
forever.
got
Right.
some good ones there.
Yeah. You can tell me, Kathy, where they are too.
I'll just read them as I'm scrolling through. There's one your time, Deb Johnston at 8:28 your time.
Let's see. I'm just looking at what everybody is. Hold on. Hi Carter. Hello, Roxanne and Kathy. I thought both my sons to drive. Oh, this is just a fun thing that she's sharing. What'd she say?
Mm.
This is Annie. She said, I taught both my sons to drive a 5-speed. They are both grateful. I still own a 5-speed, and good luck getting your license.
Thank you. I'll need it. I went driving for the first time. It was kind of rough, so I'll need all the luck I can get. It seems.
And they're showing you some love. Carter was a great actor as a kid. Bravo. You're
Thank you.
you're a young man now.
Yes, I
Oh.
am.
Oh, this is cute. This is true. I like this scene too. I loved it when Cody met Lucas in the cafe for the first time and the magic trick with the coin. Of course, this is not season
Yeah.
5, which is fine. But
Yeah, it
now,
was. I just saw that today. It
it
was
was
season 5.
season 5?
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
Season 6.
Was I peaking at 6?
Yes, you were, because season 5 is Jack
You're
dies.
right. You're right.
Yeah. So Cody, dear Lord Carter, sorry. Do you remember what you ask your mom, Abigail? You say, is he a scoundrel? Isn't that the word he uses? Right?
Yeah.
A scoundrel. They're saying stuff.
Everybody in town was talking about how Lucas must be a scoundrel. And there
Yeah.
was a scene where you went to Abigail and said, Mom, is he a scoundrel?
Oh yeah,
What's the word
yeah.
he used? Was it scoundrel? It was something funny like that.
It was something like that, and then she talked
Yeah.
to me for like a while about it, didn't she?
Yes.
You know,
That's it. Here it is. Cody asking Abigail if Lucas is a scoundrel. That's it. That's true. Here's Brian. He wants to know if you have a favorite scene from your time on One Calls the Heart. A scene that
oh,
really stands out. Maybe it was challenging or maybe it was hilarious. You've told us you love the mud scene, which we can
yeah.
understand.
There's so many good scenes I've had. Like, I mean,
Go
I
ahead.
don't know if it's my favorite, but it's the one that comes to mind. The when I had to stand up against like the railroad, and
Yes.
I had to do that. That was
Mhm.
a great scene that I had to do. It was like a big monologue as well. So it was probably my favorite actually. Yeah, it was good.
No scene is coming to mind, but did you have a chance to work with Martin Cummins playing him?
I don't think one on one, but I was in some like a bunch of scenes with him. I think.
Sure, you were like in group scenes and whatnot, but I was just thinking if the two of them ever had like a whole relationship because he had a relationship with Abigail. Like, but
Yeah.
I don't really think that it overlapped into in with Cody.
No, it didn't.
Yeah. Christine says, will Cody come back at all for a short stint when When Calls the Heart?
For a long stint.
I mean, it'd be fun to go back, but
Mhm.
nothing scheduled so far. But in the future, I mean,
Yeah.
talented writers, they could find a way. But
We
I don't know.
found a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
and
mean,
Robert could fight over the girl in town that Robert likes. So that would be cool.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the closest I've gotten was when Hope Calls, which was actually pretty fun. It was great.
It was. I already said that 14 times, remember?
Yeah.
Here's I'm just showing you more love. This is Christine again. I like the scene where Cody tried to bring Abigail and Pastor Frank back together down at the pond fishing. I think that was last in season 4, right? For with the poetry, there's a poem, and then the poem gets to the wrong person because
Yeah.
Rosemary has to interfere.
Oh yeah. Rosemary was fun.
Yeah. Oh, it said the saddest part of season 4 was when Cody saluted Jack when he was leaving town.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was a really emotional scene. I cried a lot. Wow. That
Yeah.
was that was amazing.
Yeah. Martha wants to know if you are working now or are you concentrating on school?
I mean, a mix of both. Like I mean, I'm doing auditions when they come in, but like the auditions are actually surprisingly still really slow. It's because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Still, they're just not coming in as much. But doing auditions, still going to school, stuff like that. Yeah.
What's your interest, Carter? Are you a TV one-offs, or getting involved in another series or movies or?
I mean, honestly, what'd be really fun is either getting in like like a movie that goes in theaters, or getting on a
Oh,
series for a while. Yeah, when I was younger, I went out. I forget the name of the show, but I went out for a show, and I was really close to booking it. Like there might have been like 7 or 8 callbacks,
mm-hmm.
but they eventually went with a different kid. But that one would have been in theaters. That one would have been really fun. But yeah,
Mm. What do you think? Do you want to keep pursuing acting? Is that in your future, or did you want to branch out into something else?
I mean, I'm thinking about it. Like in school, we're thinking about careers at the moment because we're
Mm-hmm.
like a year and a bit away from graduating. So um, I'll figure it out in the next year because like I've got to figure out
Sure.
which path I want to go, like trades, university, acting, or nothing.
You
I don't
and
know.
you could do it all. I mean, I've interviewed actors like someone who is was it his name just went right. Marcus. Rosner, I think he does everything. He's into all kinds of wonderful things. And I interviewed Jesse. What is Jesse's last name? His name went right out of my head. He lets no grass grow under his feet. If he doesn't have an acting gig, he is doing stunts. And I learned that I learned that there's a lot for stunts, like stuntmen, like you get paid the big bucks or whatever. And I was like,
Oh
oh
yeah.
wow. He calls up people directly himself and he's like, hello. And he says, why not? And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. But he can build stuff. And he was a white water raft tour guide. And I mean,
Oh wow.
he did
That
all,
is
he actually drowned and died and then came back to life. He tells
okay.
this story. So it's like pretty like amazing. So I guess, you why limit yourself to one thing? You could do it all, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, why waste time when you can just do whatever you want, really?
Yeah.
It's true. And drive around in your car that's a 5-speed.
Yeah.
We have some really cool things. That was a tough scene. That's what Alice was saying when the salute, she was agreeing with
Oh
you.
yeah.
And Alice is also saying that I sure miss you as Cody. Aw.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that a lot actually. Like Hardy's still really want me back.
They
It's
do. We
mhm.
always talk
The
about you all
Hardys
the
are a
time.
loyal bunch.
Oh yeah, the Hardys are crazy in a good way,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in a good way, but like they're probably the most devoted like fans I've ever
Out there, I
had or like
agree.
seen really. Yeah.
Arlene says, what are your favorite, or what are your favorite? I think she means who are your favorite actors and who would you like to work with? And we're not just saying from When Calls the Heart. We just mean in general, who's somebody you admire and you would love to work with them?
I mean, I'd like to be in a comedy movie. I'm not that good at comedy stuff, but it'd be fun to work with like Ryan Reynolds or Kevin Hart or something.
Oh, well, of course.
Yeah. Those are the two that come to my mind.
Yeah. Christine wants to know, do you act in school plays when they come up?
Honestly, I don't really like drama in like schools that much because
Yeah.
I mean, acting, like, you can take a couple takes. Like, if you forget a line, it's not that bad. Like, just do a different take, right?
Yeah.
Drama, I mean, there's more stress, I guess you could say, because you have to know your lines, and you have to, if somebody messes up, you kind of like improv as well. I
Yeah.
was never too good at improv, so I don't know. Like, drama would actually seem kind of fun, but I wouldn't feel that confident in doing it. So
It is different. I've heard actors say like the audience sort of, you feed off of the audience. That's what's really different than, and
yeah,
but also I'm with you, like you don't get to retake, and that would be so stressful for me that I would say, okay, there's no fun in it, like
yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah, sort of, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's me saying that, so I can kind of understand what you're saying. The actor is Jesse Hutch. Thank you, Arlene. Thank you. That's who we were talking about. He's amazing. And that was like kind of disrespectful, but my brain, when it's at this time of the night, my brain's like fried, and I'm like, what their name? What is this name? Oh, and she's just saying she'd love to see Cody return to When Calls the Heart. And
Yeah.
Alice is agreeing. Yes. Yeah. We want you back. So we'll just keep saying it, and somebody out there will hear it. And Kathy has ideas of how to write you right back in. You could just come back. How many times did Henry go visit Abigail? I could have just brought Cody back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Summer,
Exactly.
like go visit your friends and hang out,
And then he'll just find some reason to stay in town.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The writers can find a way if like other things, if they're allowed in a way. I don't know.
They are. Cody is old enough to go off on his own, and that is true. You are old enough now.
I mean, I think in the show I'm the same age as Robert, so
Well, then yeah. Anna's on her own.
Oh.
The actress who plays Anna, she's living in the cafe. The cafe has been bought by Joseph and Minnie. Abigail's Cafe, they bought it. And the upstairs rooms, Anna is living in one of the rooms and working in the cafe.
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
You know what might be interesting if Cody came back and he wasn't quite as steadfast and upright as he was when he left, but he just has to find his way back, kind of the way Jesse and Henry's son, he came in and he was a little twisted.
Henry's son. Yeah.
So that would be, and everybody thinks he's sweet, Cody coming back, and Cody has a surprise for them. Not so much.
Yeah. I've been gone for like 4 years, and
a lot could have happened in 4 years.
Yes, I think you should come back. Come on now. Christine says, do you remember the cake that Cody and Robert baked? Yes, Christine, you may have missed that. We were talking about that earlier. And Carter, you were saying how it was nighttime. You actually were using real ingredients.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of laughs during that scene. Like it took, they had a couple cakes like ready just in case we messed up. Which was pretty useful because we laughed so many times during that, just pushing the cake off and just it was so much fun.
Oh, I like that. Oh, I want to eat chocolate cake now. And she's saying you could come back and you could stay with Henry.
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
ideas. Wow.
This is for you, Kathy. And then Pastor Frank could come back and set Cody straight.
Oh my gosh, that is like my dream storyline. That would be so cool.
That's crazy cool.
And then Frank and Henry can fight it out for Abigail.
silly. Oh goodness. All right, Carter. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Sure, sure. We'll keep in touch
Okay.
and I'll be watching your Instagram account. And then when you get a story, you must write back to us and say, thank you, Kathy and Roxanne, for putting it out into the universe.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, you have a good night.
Take care.
Thanks, you
And
guys,
best
as
of
well.
luck with your buying a car and
Yes.
the license you want and finding the career path that is right for you. And
Yes,
that's
thank you. I'll need luck in that. It is a tough decision at the moment.
It's all right. You're going to do it all. Just going to do everything.
You're a talented young man. You can do it all.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, well, thank you guys.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Bye. Aw. All right, girls and boys. He was great. I loved how he answered all the questions.
He's a very sweet young man and very open. He's a genuine deal. I like him.
He is. He just
And I wish somebody would pick up on one of these ideas. There's no reason.
there isn't any reason
not be back on When Calls the Heart.
You know, even though some people don't comment because they're not supposed to be here and on social media, just in case they're here, they hear us.
Good.
They hear us. All right, Miss Kathy, let's talk about this crazy season 5.
Okay. When we were talking earlier, I told you, what's the opposite of most valuable player? Okay, most heinous player, I'm gonna dub it. And that is Elizabeth's wig in season 5. Oh my gosh. That wig should have gotten a credit. It was its own entity.
Even the part
it was so wiggy. I mean, there's a way of wearing a wig that doesn't necessarily look like a wig. It was just plain old wiggy. It's like they just didn't care. Let's go to Kmart and get a wig, and
Kmart.
Yeah, it was.
Did they sell wigs at Kmart?
I don't know, but it was hideous, and she's too lovely a girl. One of my dream storylines is that she goes to the barber shop on a day Fiona's there, and Fiona's giving her a haircut and screws it up, and then they have to let Erin wear her own hair because Fiona bobbed it too much. I don't like
A bob is in now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just let her lose the wig. That's all. And that one little ratty barrette. The
one ratty little barrette. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh! Now I have to
Anyway,
say,
I found that very distracting. And then go ahead with your comment. And then I had a question for the group.
talking about the wig, I have to tell you though, in the last episode when she's all in black and her hair is really black, I kind of liked her with dark hair.
She looked 90.
No, I like the dark hair. No, I don't mean no. I like the darkness on her. Not the wig.
In mourning.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of liked it. All right, go ahead. What's your question for everyone?
Here's something I experienced with season 5. Not so much with the others. I don't know why it was hit me with season 5, but I want to know if anyone else experienced this. For episodes I absolutely loved, the first watching and then going back to rewatch them. It seems to me that knowing what's going to happen in the future kind of undermined a little bit my enjoyment of them. And it was kind of like, oh, this character, I'm not going to get too into this because I know they're not going to be seen again. Or, just even Elizabeth's bravo performance, when she found out that
no, I can still hear her say it, and she falls.
Yes, she fell to the.
And she says,
I remember my heart twisting the first time I saw that, and this time, what was going through my head was, "Oh, relax, another year or so, you're going to find the second love of your life." So I don't know. Has anyone else experienced that knowing what the future holds kind of took away from some of the dramatic effect of the season?
While we're waiting for them to answer, because I feel like I have to highlight this, Catherine, if you have commented before, I'm sorry that I don't remember, and please don't be offended because my brain's fried tonight anyway, but it's hilarious because if you have commented, it's rare, and we've done many of these hours of shows. But the thing that you do comment is ugly wig.
That's the impact of this
I
thing.
know. That's this. It's like its own thing. What most heinous player. That's what. Oh gosh. Oh, they're saying it was heartbreaking. My heart still twists. I mean, I every time I see that episode, but you were right, going back and watching through the seasons, that season and knowing, well, see, I'm the kind of person that doesn't like prequels because after you've seen the whole thing and the series is over, they want to go back and give you I'm like, I already know
Yeah.
how that ends, and that
Right.
kills me. I can't do it. I
Yeah.
just can't.
Yeah. It lessens the impact. I guess that's what I was trying to say. The dramatic impact wasn't quite as powerful as the first time I saw it in real
Yes.
time.
I get you. Deb's saying every time Rosemary says that she will only get married once, I
Yeah.
always say nope. Yeah.
She will always be Mrs. Jack Thornton. Not so much.
Yeah. Viola is saying it didn't take away from the shock and sadness. Knowing that Daniel was leaving the show made it more sad for me. Rona, the scene that really got me this time was the one with Bill and Abigail talking about Jack after he died. Yes.
Especially Jack. He really he hit that one out of the park, feeling like Jack was his son.
And like I'm watching Rosemary's face, like that part of it, and her husband, of course, Lee is very comforting, but we keep forgetting that she and Jack,
They were engaged.
they knew each other longer than Elizabeth knew Jack.
Yep.
And we never really ever hear about Elizabeth's family, except of course the connection that she has with his mother, and when she comes to visit she tells her, you're like a daughter to me, even though they didn't get married, you're a daughter to me. And then finally in season 5, she's one of the few characters that we ever see anything about their lives. I mean, even Faith, we saw stuff about their lives. We had couple of different characters come in for Paul Green's character, but we finally get to meet her one friend, Sophia, and that's it. So that's why I keep saying, and we met Sophia in this season 5, and she has like a little romance with Carson.
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes off and she leaves, and we really don't ever hear about her ever again. But my point is that in this season coming up, I want to know a little bit more about Rosemary's family. I really do. I want to.
It would be awkward not to, considering what her storyline is, that she's having this baby.
Yeah. Lillian saying, I agree, Kathy. When Jack says about Fort Clay, there's no danger, I was like, yes, there is. Yeah. Catherine saying that season 5 was difficult to watch again. What's this?
It was difficult to watch for a lot of reasons. One was Jack's death. The other for me was knowing that Lori was going to be leaving, and so this was the last full season we were getting with her and Cody. So it was difficult for me on a lot of different levels, character-wise and actor-wise.
I know. I hear it. I was surprised that her family didn't make a big deal about the Mountie dying after all of the talk before they were married. That's true. And that's a writing thing. And I think there was a shift in writing during that time. I wish Brooke Shields would have come back for Jack's funeral. Yeah, I feel the same way. I love the scene with Opal and Elizabeth, especially when Opal says to Elizabeth, Mountie Jack was the best Mountie ever. Yeah. Now, I know, Chris, we were dying over this because Kathy and I had just said, backstage, we'll call it. We were talking about the wig, and then you wrote up there earlier on about the wig, and what did she say? That she had audio problems. She couldn't only hear it, and she said it's a good thing because she didn't have to look at the awful wig. I had audio problems for season 5, but was this the season when Abigail gave Jack Abigail gave Elizabeth the letter from Jack?
I think it was.
He said he wrote to me and he told me to keep it. Was it that, or was it? Yes, it was.
She looked at it for a while before she actually.
It was that last episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and we get to see the funeral in the flashbacks. So there were other storylines, of course. besides, you know, the Jack dying, I think, is in episode 10. 11 is the flashbacky funeral, her coming to grips and showing her anger, and then we find out at the end she's pregnant. But what I found strange was, even when it was happening, I remember how I felt when I first was experiencing season 5 in real time, how choppy it was. So we've got Jack, he in season 4 he left. He left to go to the Northern Territory. Then in the Christmas special he comes back to see her but leaves again. Then he's gone in episode, we'll call that episode 1. He's gone in episode 2. He's gone in episode 3. He's gone in, he comes back, I think, in 4. He's there for 5 and 6. And then he's gone again. And that's it.
He was off doing his movies. Daniel, the actor, was off doing his thing. So
it was so, I feel like they should have had that wedding right away. And I remember people saying that to Brian Bird, and Brian Bird's like, well, we gave you the big wedding. It was just so choppy. And okay, so the other thing that I thought that was a little odd was, and people talk about this, is her pregnancy. And they're like, oh, it was the shortest pregnancy or the longest pregnancy. And I always, you know me, in timelines, I try to figure this out. So she goes away with him on their honeymoon, and drives, you know, takes their ride back. She writes in her journal how they had picnics and went to little quaint restaurants along the way and all of that. He's supposed to be away for about 2 months, right? So if she got pregnant right away, by the time Jack dies, she would be like about 4. We could stretch it, because I know time is relative, or not relative, or what's the saying? Time has no real meaning in Hope Valley. We could say she's about 4 months pregnant at that point. And then she has the baby, maybe comes a month early, right? So I think the time frame is okay when she has him at Christmas.
It was a time jump.
Yeah. But a lot of people get upset. They're like, no, it was only 2 months. It was this, it was that. I was like, you know what? It's fine. It's
a TV show.
Yes. Tia, hello, Tia. I was disappointed that after Elizabeth's tormenting cry, not one person came out of the saloon, because they were all celebrating Carson's birthday and jumping around. I wanted to see the town's reaction. Even if they didn't speak, we could watch the emotions.
I could see where they kind of wanted that to be Elizabeth or Aaron's moment
with Abigail.
With Abigail. And then I think they did a really good job of showing everybody else's reaction in the subsequent scenes. The kids, the kids were devastated.
Yeah, the funeral.
Yeah.
I mean, they were really crying. I mean, I could see Loretta Walsh, like her face, and I think it was because it was an emotional scene, but it was also emotional because the actor was leaving them, you know? They had been together for 5 seasons at that point. That was a long time. Yep. And you could see it on all their faces, and the way they panned it out. I love that scene, but I didn't love it. You know what I mean? I thought it was well done, that whole episode. Yeah. And if you remember correctly, because when you watch the reruns, they don't show this, or at least on Prime they didn't. Before that episode aired, I couldn't watch it. I had it saved, and it took me weeks before I could watch it. And then I watched it. And I didn't know if I was ever going to be able to watch When Calls the Heart again. I didn't know. But before it came on, they have a disclaimer that says that it's for parents and people that are watching, that it's serious. I forget how they worded it. And I was like, oh, okay. And I don't know. I just thought
one thing I never noticed before, the Mountie who delivered the news was quite the cutie. I'll have to look him up and find out who that actor is.
Oh, he's in When Hope Calls.
Is he?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I am wondering if the letter from Jack will reappear in season 10. Yeah, when did they get married? It looked like it was kind of cold outside when they got married. It was starting to get cold. So, what's this?
I think they got married in fall.
Yeah. You talked about this, Kathy.
Yes.
Is it just me, or did Bill seem overly mean this season?
He was overly arrogant, overly self-righteous, and not just this season. I mean, in subsequent seasons, he's like that. He's finally mellowed out, like in season 9, but he was quite the little, he was always right. I actually liked AJ because she seemed to have a mellowing effect on him. And they obviously have chemistry because they've done this, a gazillion TV movies together.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, I wish she would have stuck around.
Yes. So there was the storyline between Carson and what was her name again? Sophia. And then all of a sudden Faith is giving him a surprise party because they work together. So I guess they thought they'd throw them together. And I was like, really? I don't know if that's going to work, but I could see that it was going to happen, right? I'm like, okay. I just felt like they were never going to work. What did you think?
I think sometimes they react to the organic chemistry between some actors, and that's a great thing. But other times it's like they look and go, this person doesn't have anyone and this one doesn't have anyone. Let's put them together. And it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. I don't like when they rush things like that. And you know what you had said to me, I don't think you said it here, that you could really see the chemistry going on between Abigail and...
Yes, I really saw it in season 5 when she was trying to convince Bill to be kind of easy on him. Let him come here and do community service. And I've got these projects for him. And and the way she kind of looked at him when he was in the jail cell and she came over, I don't know, I got a vibe. But I think that was a case of, what are we going to do with Henry's character? You know what? He's kind of always liked Abigail. He's been pining after her. Let's see what's happening there. So we'll just get rid of this one and then work on. And that's not to say there wasn't a kind of chemistry, but
yeah.
I don't know why they would have decided to go that way instead of the usual triangle, because obviously they had no problem with triangles.
Oh my God! Don't even tell.
Yeah.
Brian's tape. Remember, Roxanne? I know it's a fantasy. I agree with you, Brian. I was just saying how I like watching and looking at the timeline where people were like, oh, I can't, that's the most ridiculous thing. Like people are scared, like, oh, she got pregnant and had her baby. It was too short of a time. And I was like, no, it's not. Forget it. Move on. So I liked how they did it. Yes, Deb was saying we got all the emotions at the funeral. Was Daniel doing other projects at the time?
He was doing movies.
Listen, you are right. For those last 2 seasons, he had wanted out earlier, but his contract he had to stay, I think. Yeah.
Yep.
He talks a little bit about it. Lillian is saying, in the Christmas episode when Jesse and Jack were looking at the pocket watches in the Mercantile, my first reaction during rewatching it felt like it was foreshadowing of Lucas's arrival in season 6.
Could be. I thought the same thing, not necessarily foreshadowing, but they did in some episodes, they did a close-up on the white stallion sign on the saloon, and I kept thinking to myself, not for long.
Yeah. You're right. Bill was angry that changes was going on, yes, in Hope Valley, and he couldn't control things. It's true.
You're spot on, Catherine.
And you know what else too? He was so rude when everybody is inside the saloon, right? And they're there for Jack's bachelor party, and his famous chili is being served, Bill's famous chili, right? And he tells him, I want you to teach my wife how to make this. And then poor Henry opens the door to come in, and they're like, it's a private party, he says. He's like, okay. And he turns around leaving, and Jack goes over to him with a beer, and he's like, no, stay. And he goes, I don't think I'm wanted here. He goes, I want you here.
It's
and
my
then
party.
Jesse goes over to him, and then we'll play darts and stuff. I thought, ew, that's just not nice. You are not nice, Bill.
And Bill's cooking. We've already established his chili is for crap because what's her name? Molly was the only one who had the nerve to tell him, no, this is not working. And I'm not sure about the eggnog because Abigail was looking like, what a nice little kick it has to it, So I think Bill's opinion of his culinary skills may be a bit inflated.
I think everything about him is inflated.
Mhm.
I thought that Lee made a really good fill-in sharp. Oh, that was funny, right? He thought nothing was going to happen. Remember when he had to take over? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah. But seriously, why couldn't Carter have just told everybody this guy's a fraud? Don't drink his stuff that he's selling. Why did
I
he
know,
have to do all the drama?
because it's got to be a story, a Hope Valley story.
As Brian said so eloquently, it's a fantasy. Okay.
I know. Brian, you said door, Door, with lines on. What was the door thing, Brian? Tell me what you meant by door. I missed it. What you were trying to
Oh,
say, Lily? Tell
typo.
me what happened.
It was a typo.
No. Oh, he wrote a typo.
Door.
Okay, got you.
And then he corrected himself.
Got you. Okay, I missed that. Greta Preston arrives to Hope. Oh, yes, we didn't even talk about this. So, in between all of everything, Jack Lee even coming back, Jack Lee, coming back. Um, yes, the bank goes under. Remember, Lee couldn't even pay his men on the Monday.
Yeah.
So, we have the actress come in, and first it was going to be that man, and there was like dirty dealings going on. I think that's why they were kind of mad at Henry too. And it's a good thing they didn't go with him. So Greta comes in, and it turns out that she knows Elizabeth, and Elizabeth ends up helping her reconcile with her son. Yes, there's that little side story too. And then she helps out with the bank, and then we never really hear more than that.
There's kind of a running theme through the show, all seasons, I think, of fathers and sons and their issues in reconciling. And it's not always biological. It could be sons and their father figures, but that is a running theme through When Calls the Heart, I think.
I agree. It is. You are correct, because it's how many times has it happened?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Henry and Christopher relationship. There is the relationship with Nathan and
His
his
father.
father. Yeah, 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 yeah. I did not like his part on The Rookie at all. He had another role for a short time also, but I can't remember what it was. I think The Rookie came after he left When Calls the Heart. They're talking about Daniel, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Now, getting back to when Greta comes in and saves the bank. Christine's saying that's the last mention of the bank, right? Okay, it's true. We used to hear about it all the time, the bank, but now it's kind of like gone, but it's really not. One of the things I had talked about before, and I think it was when we had on one of the actors, we had on the actor, the blacksmith, that I had him on, and I had interviewed him. There is the sweetest heart. And I'm like, they didn't realize it, but they weren't all on When Calls the Heart at the same time, but many of them were. So Lucas, we're going to go by the characters' names. Lucas, Chris McNally is in The Sweetest Heart. He's the co-star. And then Andrea, who plays Faith, she is the best friend. The actress who plays Greta, she's in there, and she's the banker that comes in to help promote the cupcake place. And then the blacksmith, Kevin, he's there because he's the fiance of her best friend. And then there's another character that she's friendly with, and she plays the reporter that's supposed to interview Henry a couple seasons later and he doesn't want to be interviewed. Do you remember that? She's an African American woman. I can't.
Yeah, she was there setting a trap for him. Yeah.
Yes.
Who you mean.
So all of them were on in that movie together, and they all wound up on When Calls the Heart, which I think is pretty cool.
Very, very small little,
yeah,
incestuous little group. They're just all in everything together.
Didn't Daniel want to pursue a singing career also? I think that was another reason he wanted off the show. I actually talked with Daniel's not publicist but manager, and I wanted to have him on, and they said that he didn't have the time. I know that he is going to be on Suspenders Unbuttoned. It hasn't happened, so if you really would like to see a new interview, you could check them out. I think it's happening possibly this week. They had a set time, and then they had to change it, and they had to make a new time and day. But he is coming. I hope they ask those kinds of questions of him. He's there to promote his Catering Christmas movie, which is on GAC. But he's talked about before why he wanted to go, and I think he doesn't really disclose why. I think there was stuff going on in his personal life, and for whatever reason,
Yeah.
he was done. Yeah. Yeah. The bank went into the same black hole that so many other things fall into. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. They're opening so many businesses in town. I'm wondering if they're going to bring the bank back at some point.
Mhm.
That might be a good business for Lucas to have his hand in.
Yeah. Okay. We never know. We'll see. Love how Laura gets billed to investigate the love note mystery. It was a jacket, and in the jacket she finds a note, and we find out that the jacket or the coat really belonged or was donated from Florence, right? And it was a note, I think, from her son or something like that, or her husband. Yeah, and then she finds it, which is cute. All right. Did you see the dress that Rosemary put in the window of the dress shop was the same dress Molly wore to impress Bill in season 8? And you know what? Yes. And I interviewed Barbara Gregusova. I think I said it right. Sorry, Barbara, if I hacked up your name. And Barbara was saying that that dress had been around for a while and she had changed and tweaked and they pulled it out. So I'm not surprised that it was like a prop and then, yeah, used again. Yeah. He may have done a couple of Hallmark movies. He did. He did.
Yeah.
He did. Yes, Kevin. Yes, Brian's going. Does Elizabeth still own the property that Jack bought? He was even going to build the house, and Lee's telling him at his bachelor party, I'm going to give you the lumber for it. And none of that actually happens. And I think, yes, that she does. Yeah. We're just going through some of these and then we'll wrap it up. I like when Henry was supposed to run a sawmill in Benson Hills for Lee's former partner's wife. Henry did the right thing and he turns her in. That's right. He did when they came. Yep. The ledgers and all. And then Lee turns around and gives him a better job or a promotion. I was very moved by Greta and Duncan. I had my dish towel on hand, as with the AJ and Bill scenes. They're talking about all the different things. He was on Blind Spot. Yeah. Can we talk about the wedding? Yes, we can. Oh, Lillian, you hated her dress? I loved her dress. So there's a story, Lillian, about what did you feel about the dress, Kathy?
I'm looking it up because I'm not even picturing it.
Oh my God, I love the dress. So wait, Lillian, there's a story about this dress. I don't know if you saw my interview with Barbara, but she was talking about the dress and she said that when Erin was out shopping around and found it, it had to be cleaned and they didn't even know if it would survive, if it would just crumble because it was, of course, a secondhand dress. And it stayed, it would stand. Now, what happens? Doesn't something happen to her dress in the show? And then they have to repiece it together and it gets to a point where there's not enough lace and they're running out of time, and Rosemary says, we could take the lace off of my dress, and she adds it on, and all the ladies recreate her dress together. I loved the dress. I thought
I go with Roxanne on this one. I loved it too. I just thought it was absolutely gorgeous, and it looks very similar to what Grace Kelly wore at her wedding.
Yes, I thought she made a stunning bride, but it's okay, Lillian, if you didn't like it. We're okay with you not liking
I'm
it.
curious as to what she's going to wear for this next one.
I know. Yes. Also, the doctor in the Boston hospital who is running the trial study is coming to When Calls the Heart with his real life wife, Mark. What?
The new character, there's a new character coming in, and there's been promotion saying that his real life wife is going to be acting as his character's wife.
Yes.
So,
but you're saying that he is the doctor in the Boston hospital? What? Who's running a trial study is coming to When Calls the Heart. All right. So, Nikki, I have a couple questions to ask you, and then I hope you can answer them for me. One, is this a different show that this actor was on? I know who the actor is. Mark is his name. Yes, Mark Brandon. You're saying he was in another show? And or are you saying his character is a doctor? Because I'll tell you what, if you're saying that, I don't know how you heard it because I've spoken to Mark personally. He's coming on he's in another movie. He's in a movie, and then we're making arrangements for him to come on as his character. But he has an NDA, and he cannot say what his character is. And I can't even explain why. I know why, but I can't even explain it. So I'm not sure I understand what you're saying with that one. I'm
Oh,
curious.
well, she's saying he was the doctor in The Sweetest Heart, so maybe that's what she's referring to.
Yes, got you. You are right. Thank you. Yes, I get it now. Good, 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 good. You're right. You're right. Wow. We've got another. Well, when I talk to Mark, I'm going to say, Mark, you're part of that little crew. I forgot about that. Yeah.
He's part of the repertory company.
Yes. He's all of them were jam packed in there. You know what? I'm going to have to look up. I forget who directed that. I wonder if whoever directed it or wrote it is linked with When Calls the Heart, because sometimes that's how that comes over. Let's see. Moving down here because we're getting to the end. That was a good eye, Nikki, because I didn't even see it. I just watched The Sweetest Heart the other day. Oh, Christine is saying maybe that's what Mark is. He's a banker. Maybe. Margie liked it. I wonder who won the dress when they had the contest. I don't know.
There could only be a few people who could even be well, I guess somebody could want it for a relative. I was going to say you had to be really tiny to wear that thing.
Yes, it did. It burned in the fire. You're correct. That's what happened to it. Oh, she also found her wedding dress for Finding Father Christmas. Oh, wow. Yes, it was damaged in the church fire. You're correct. I thought Elizabeth's hair makeup for her wedding was too much. What? Nikki, no. No. I loved it.
I'd be happy if they'd let her wear her natural hair. Yeah, more natural hair. Please, no wig for the wedding.
Oh, here we go. Is the casting director the same? That's kind of like what we were saying. Yeah. Our ladies are experts on every Chris McNally project. You know they are. And the dress was $60. Directed by Stephen Monroe. I don't know. Don't know that. I love Elizabeth's dress, plus how Rosemary allowed her dress to be cut up and the ladies put it together. That gorgeous dress. You are correct. Of course, that was not true, but in real life, the dress was fine. It almost shredded up, as Barbara was saying. The one she found for Finding Father Christmas. Oh my goodness, it was $60. I love that story, Deb. Well, when we interview her, we'll have to ask her that. We'll have to talk about it. Yeah. Oh, goodness. Okay. So, what do you want to say, Kathy? Anything else?
Nope. I'm looking forward to season 6 and recapping that. I don't know why. I just have the feeling I'm just really going to enjoy going through this. This will be the opposite of season 5, where I said the impact was decreased because I knew what was going to happen. In season 6, the impact is going to be increased because I know what's going to happen. So I'm looking forward to it.
Deb Johnson, you said, oh, please interview her. I will. So I know, I can't wait. So, I have an idea of who I want to have as our guest. It's in the works. I'm not going to announce it because I don't know. So I picked somebody. Kathy and I have talked about him before. Kathy, you and I will talk about it in a little bit. I think that would be exciting to have him on if he can and he can make it. That would be great. And then, the holidays are coming. I'm not ready to announce what it is yet because I have to be careful because people love to steal my ideas from me. But we're going to have a little hearty Christmas party. And I'm excited about that. So all that news will be coming soon. But we'll see you. Can you believe it, Kathy? When we started this, we were like, oh, yeah, it'll get us closer to, we're butting up to some holidays already, right?
I know. It was summer one day, and the next day, I'm starting to see Christmas commercials already, and I'm just not ready for it emotionally. So
it's, we're doing season 6 on next Monday, which is the 20, the 20 what? For not 21st is kickoff for Countdown to Christmas. Oh, Natalie Hall's movie comes out. She is doing the movie Noel Next Door, which is based on a book. I contacted the author. She didn't even know it was made into a movie. She did, but she didn't. So that's exciting. You could get the book. The book is called How the Grinch Stole My Heart. That's kind of cool. But anyway, that's the 21st, 22nd, the 24th, I think, is our next time. Thank you, Martha. So we'll be together on the 24th. And by the time we see each other again, countdown to Christmas will have begun. Oh, Deb has a board meeting. It's okay, Deb. You'll miss live, but you can definitely tune in afterwards. Yes.
Oh, Deb, bring your phone with you and just put it on silent.
Yes. Yes. I think she's up on we have a stage, but she is a board member. So that's yeah. Yeah. And Deb, I didn't send your gift your way because I was trying to figure out what I wanted to send. So I'm still going back and forth about what I want to ship to you, but it's coming, I promise. For not your gift, your prize when we played 100 years ago. Okay. Yes, you are on a stage just like ours is. So yes, you just put that little earbud in, look important. They'll never know what you're listening to. All right.
I'm going to spend the next week anticipating, rewatching season 6 and spending the rest of my time for, trying to check out to see if there are any Pastor Frank sightings. And then there's my job that falls somewhere in that spectrum, but look forward to next week.
Me too. They don't hate you, Deb. That means you're good at what you're doing. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. See you next week.
See you next week.